Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
I'm a people pleaser by nature. If someone has a problem, I want to fix it. I want to make others feel comfortable and happy. But you can't please all the people all the time, no matter how much you try, can you? And sometimes if you want to please God, no one else in your life seems happy with you. But other times, going the extra mile to please other people pleases God, opens doors, and heals relationships. Paul told the Corinthians, "To the Jews I became a Jew, that I might win Jews. To those who were without the law, as without the law, that I might win those who were without the law. To the weak I became as weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all men, that I might by all means save some." He may have had a bit of people-pleasing nature to him as well. Paul told the Romans, "If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men." In Acts 21, Paul really lived this out. When he arrived in Jerusalem after his third missionary journey, James, Jesus' half-brother, who was the leader of the Jerusalem church, informed him that the thousands of Jewish Christians in Jerusalem weren't too happy about him telling Gentiles they didn't need to follow the law. James suggested a way that Paul could prove to Jewish believers that he was also a Jew and still followed the law. He hoped this would heal the differences between them. James asked that Paul go with 4 men who had taken a vow and pay their expenses. Though Paul didn't have to do these things, he agreed and followed through because he loved the Jewish Christians and didn't want divisions between them. Not only was he practicing what he preached when he said, "I have become all things to all people," but also what he said about submitting to the authorities God puts over you and submitting to other Christians for the sake of unity. Paul purified himself, which involved 7 days of ceremonial cleansing after being in Gentile territory. He had to appear in the temple on the 3rd and 7th days, then he could pay for the other 4 men and participate in the ceremony. Have you ever needed to be all things to all people? How is this different than compromising your beliefs? It reminds me of a missionary couple in Indonesia who were being honored by the region's tribal chief for the good that they'd done in the community. This ritual involved drinking an alcoholic beverage out of the chief's cup. The missionary, being a Christian, did not drink alcohol, but he didn't want to refuse and insult the chief. This was a great honor and would likely open many doors for the gospel in that area. He ended up explaining to the chief that he had made a vow never to drink alcohol. They compromised, and during the ceremony the chief held the cup up to the missionary's lips and let the liquid flow to the ground. So how can we be all things to all people? For one thing, we can be sensitive to other people's preferences. If it's not a doctrinal issue, even if we don't really agree, we can let it go for the sake of unity. We can respect other Christians' choices of music or worship styles, even though they may not be what we like. We can get on other people's levels, figure out what wavelength someone's brain is on, and tune yourself into that station. One place I go here in town, all the ladies wear long skirts. I have skirts in my closet. Though I'm not confined to wearing skirts myself, I don't mind wearing skirts when I go visit there. And one church I know has quite a lot of people in the older generation there. They find it very offensive when people leading worship wear baggy pants, hats, and have their shirt tail hanging out. To them, that's disrespectful. It wouldn't be too difficult for those leaders to still dress casually, but a little more clean cut with hats off, if only for the sake of respect of the older generation. At home, being all things to all people might be as simple as squeezing the toothpaste from the bottom or making sure both of your socks make it into the hamper. What can you do to bring unity in your church, home, or community?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.